Okay, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to sprite in Terraria. And what you're going to need is a PNG, and yeah, that's it. You'll just need a PNG. Any other advanced tools aren't required. You may need something like I use GIMP. You can use Photoshop or any other program, but really what you're really going to need is a PNG. So what I'm about to show you is how to extract files first, in case you're trying to do like re-sprites. Say you want to sprite something, re-sprite something in game. You're gonna need to use a program called TConvert. So I'm in a folder named TConvert. You can have any other folder named anything. The only thing you'll be needing is an xnb file. So we just go to a Terraria's images folder and extract an xnb file. So I think I have one prepared right about here. It's called item. Okay, yeah, item 1870. So that's the Red Rider. You're gonna have to do a quick Google search. Google search of like Red Rider on a find the Terraria wiki and go find the Red Rider. Then go ahead and look up the internal item ID and you'll find it. It's like right here. Then you're gonna want to take this thing. I already have it set the input folder. You can just take the input folder and then set the input, use input as output. So input will just become the output folder. So it's going to go into the input, which is the actual file where it's located, and its converted PNG file is going to be placed in the exact same location. And then you hit extract. So it's going to be found right here. Then you're going to want to take this file. Okay, so once you have that PNG placed in a Piskel, here's what you do. You just make simple edits. Here's the paint all pixels of the same color. So when you have this tool and you press Control, see these layers? If you have multiple layers, if you say you create a layer and something else is on it, if you press on any pixel, the same color value, the same color, will be either changed or erased depending on whether this is what this thing or any other color. It will be reflected over the two layers. I'm not going to demonstrate here because I don't have the time for that. And this is just one thing. Like there's multiple frames, so if you want to create animations, I'm not going to go through this mainly because it's a whole nother topic. I'm going to actually showcase that in another thing. But first I'm going to focus on this one thing. So you want to make a simple edit, right? Say you want to do this. Okay, and you want to press paint all. This shit's for demonstration purposes. Okay, so you know what, fuck it. So anyways, you made a simple change to this. You're going to take this thing, download this, export it. See that? I pressed export. And you're going to export it in the exact same folder as the other one. Because why the hell would you have this thing around? Of course, if you don't want to do this, you want to have that around. Item 1870. Or you can just place it in another folder if you want to keep this thing around. Maybe you want to organize them, like, it's whatever. But for now, we're going to go ahead and place this. Item 1870 already exists. Just go and replace it. And so that's the first sprite done. As you can see, I've deleted item 1870. and I then took that file, deleted that. Now we have this. So this is your edited file. So you can send this to anyone. You can use it in your mod. That's how you use Piskel. And you can go ahead and basically use this alone. But what if alone on its own? But what if you want to do this? Let's say you're old school and you used to basically take the xnb files and overwrite them with this. And be mindful that when you do replace xnb files, the only way for it to work correctly is if this thing is the same exact size as the file you're willing to replace. I mean, not the same file size, the same dimensions. See, 56 by 80 by 8 by 18. That's the same file size as, like, I don't know. Oh wait, I extracted this from 1.2.4.1, didn't I? No, never mind. I actually extracted it from 1.4.4.9. I'm going to take this thing, right? See this? I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to convert it. So here you go. It says convert. You're going to want to find the PNG. See that? And the output file will be the exact same name. See that? Once you've done that, that's it. But you can also use input as output. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. So once you use input as output, go ahead and convert. And you'll see that change reflected. Where's my files? In your, yeah, you guessed it. Here it is. So this is the updated file. So that's it for making a that's for creating a sprite that can be used for a mod. You need a PNG mainly because that's just how Terraria works. Everything that comes out of xnb files is a PNG. xnb is basically a compiled image format. That's probably what I think it means. I mean, to be honest, if you can tell already, I have a bunch of them. They're all PNGs. Nothing in Terraria is a JPEG, if I remember correctly. So the reason why Terraria does use that is because it runs XNA, the XNA framework. And that is actually the main reason. That's it. So I guess the next thing to teach you is about frames and layers. Not gonna go over all the tools though. Maybe a few of them. Like a lot of them are kind of not really that needed. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go over the layers and frames. Okay, so while it looked like I went on a tangent, what I'm actually meaning to do is something that's actually going to help you turn images into sprites. The main reason why I did this is because I'm actually working on a project for what's it called? Insurgency Weapons. And I'm going to showcase a sprite. How I do those sprites. Because it also uses the images and layers techniques. So before we cover those, I'm going to show you what I use. So I use GIMP. I don't use Krita. Well, I've used Krita. I've never really been able to buy Photoshop, so this is the closest to Photoshop I can get. And I think I'll have a download link. Yeah, I'll definitely have a download link in the description. And I'll also have a download link for a Piskel as well. So if you want to know what those are, I'm gonna go and have those in the description in case you want to download these. Maybe showcase to you how to download them. I mean, it's not too hard, but so we're gonna go. But that's pretty much it. While we're off the topic of I did it. I lost my train of thought. While we're on the topic, so now that we're off the topic of downloading, that's right, downloading these programs, I'm going to showcase to you how I make the sprites. So here's what you do. You take the image, load it in a GIMP, and you basically drag it in like you do everything else. Then you crop that image. What I did is, oh yeah, I'm also going to need to tell you one more thing. I used a Half-Life Asset Manager, but I guess that's not really important. I mean, Half-Life Asset Manager is like this program that's used to load assets made for a Half-Life 2. Guess I'll have to showcase a tutorial about that as well. I think I'm going to go and do that right now. I think I might. You know what? Before we cover this, let me just showcase to you how that works. Okay, so I started recording. Here it is. This is an image. I loaded a file, an MDL, as you can see here, which is right up here. If you look closely, it says WL85A2.mdl. And what we do is, first, to prepare to take the screenshot, you must rotate the weapon correctly. To do this, it depends on the weapon's position itself, but what we're going to do here is adjust the pitch and yaw to 270. When you type that, try to aim for numbers like 9, 8, 90, 180, 270. Just any one of those numbers. They're exact coordinates in like space, like 3D space. It's facing the... Oh yeah, by the way, I have to point this out. Every weapon in Terraria faces this direction. That gun barrel thing points right here, the stock right there. This is the exact position you want. Every weapon in Terraria should face this way. It should look like this. So, once we're done, you want to go to video and turn on this thing, then say take screenshot. You're gonna have to go to downloads and actually name the file. So I'm gonna go to a matter of fact, you know what? Just for demonstration purposes, because I already have a file up right now. I think we're gonna go and place it right here. Just name the file and then place the .png extension. And then we're not actually going to use that file because we already have one on GIMP. Okay, so now once we're done, we can go ahead and jump to this thing. That's right. Once we jump to that, go ahead and scale image. Well, you're going to want to turn off interpolation. And the reason why you want to do this is mainly because when you set it to cubic, it's going to create more and more colors. So, matter of fact, let me just demonstrate that real quick so you can see the difference. See, it's going to create send. Then I'm going matter of fact, then I'm going to show you the difference. So if you turn interpolation from cubic to none, it's set by default. You're going to want to go ahead and take the width and height, and you're going to want to scale. You saw the difference. You'll notice that this looks significantly better than the one done with one with cubic. So when I set this to none, what's going to happen is there's going to be much less color. There's going to be less colors. It's going to look more pixely. It's going to look more like pixel art. It's going to have less colors. It's also going to have less transparent colors, which is something that you want to avoid. Could avoid. Might want to avoid. And then you're going to want to also take this thing, right? And then shrink this even more, down to a value of divided by 2. So anything divided by 2. So for this one, it'd be 12. Take that image, then rescale the entire thing. And you lost the barrel, but does it really fucking matter? I mean, you still have the reference image, right? You can figure out the barrel later, but yeah, this is what your gun's gonna look like. It's gonna have less colors. It's gonna look it's gonna have less pixels. But the pixels, not gonna have colors in between these blocks. So if I interpolate from a smaller size, smaller dimensions to larger dimensions, it's gonna take the same size of those same pixels and it's gonna stretch them by what, 2 times? And 2 times the size, so it's going to take these small little pixels and it's going to double their size. Then you're going to want to take this thing and overwrite it. Then you're going to want to take that same process, right? See this? So we put the edited image from GIMP and put it straight into Piskel. And that's where we're at. So you're going to want to know that you're also going to need the exact colors. But what I really do is I take a program like, let's see. What you're going to want to do is open up color.adobe.com. So this is what we have here. And then you're going to want to go to extract theme. Then you're going to want to take that image, right? Drag it to the drag and drop your file. And once you have that, well, it's going to look small because the thing was so fucking wide. Fucking small compared to the size of the overall image. So it was like very far away. You're going to want to take separate little colors. Try to take the most distinct colors from this image. Wait a minute. I'm forgetting one step. You want to know what that step is? That's right. Before you do any of this, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take the image that I see this thing and outline it. This is to help me distinguish what features the weapon might have. So I'm going to do this very slowly. I'm probably going to make a time lapse. Okay, so once you're done outlining the entirety of the weapon, you're going to want to take the most prominent colors from that, well, you know what, let me just head over there. There you go. Take the most prominent colors from this image while it's loaded in color.adobe. And you're going to want to switch between two tabs, so it's really hard to like show it here. So this is going to remain open, and I'm going to slowly take this thing right. I'm going to go over here. Yeah, I'm taking this over here. You see what I'm doing? I'm taking this, copying this, dragging over to Piskel, and I'm taking it over here. So as you can see, slowly work my way towards the entire image. Matter of fact, just make this whole thing an entire fucking color. Take the whole thing, right? Take the most prominent colors from that image. And would you look at that? You see this? This is the palettes. This will tell you how many colors you have. The amount of colors must be pretty fucking low. I don't know how many. Maybe you might want to aim for at least 16, maybe 24. I don't want to use too many colors. That's what sprites are all about. No noise at all. Just nothing but just image. No noise, nothing at all, just image. Really just this image. Just no extra colors, no extra unnecessary colors, just very little colors. A few colors, few defining high contrast colors. Try to make the outlines from same darker colors. Try to mimic or manipulate colors to have to be a bit lighter. Do all sorts of weird shit. Nah, I'm using too many colors. Well, actually, no, go ahead and do that. Looks good. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and use Perfect. Let's fix the two barrel. Now you know what? Fuck it. Let's keep it. Oh yeah, there's also like one little sight next to somewhere around here. go ahead and take this, right? You can go ahead and so we're done. This is the finished sprite. Just go and export this. I'll just export it here. So about layers and frames. Well, here's what layers does. So we basically just have this image and it's overlaid, and we basically we can edit over it. Yeah, so we can do little edits like this. And if you want, you can just merge the layers, move them. So now this layer is above this layer. And then we can just merge with the layer below. We can edit the layer's name. And then we can go ahead and that's pretty much it. We can rotate the layer. We can clone current layer to all frames. Matter of fact, we can do that right now. See? You could duplicate this in multiple ways. You could duplicate this frame, or you could just clone current layer to all frames. You can crop the sprite, so it will basically just apply. It can apply to all frames and layers too. So you don't have to do it to every single frame, every single layer as well. Align image to the center. Control align apply it to all layers. Shift apply to all frames. The circle tool, triangle tool, move tool. You can move the sprite. Shape selection. Just explore these things yourself. What I'm really going to go over, to be honest, is something else, and that is add new frames. Well, it's frames. Yeah, it's frames. So, matter of fact, let me go ahead and... Okay, so as you can see, these two things, well, not two things. This is a held gun sprite. So this is what the Insurgency Weapons mod uses when you hold the weapon. Everything means a different thing. And to be honest, based on my guess, this one's just this thing mag's empty, cocks the barrel, then reloads. It's just this long line of like different animations. It's like the player holding the weapon in one part of this sprite. And then the slow animation of like slowly reloading the weapon. So it's just a reload animation, and it's just as well as a holding item sprite. We also have the magazine as well. That's also needed. So the magazine is easy. You just take the actual magazine on the actual gun sprite, and you just use that as the magazine. The held sprite is where the frames will come in. That's what we'll do. So for frames, that's what that'll be for. So we first want to rotate the gun. So I'm going to set the resize value to the same one as the width, center the entire image, and then counterclockwise rotate. Just like that. You also want to make sure there's a space at the bottom. Now first crop it, then modify the height. Matter of fact, I need to know what that thing looks like. I haven't done this in a long time. Well, actually, yeah, you know what? So I'm trying to use Piskel in the background to see if I can see what this actual grease gun held sprite looks like, so I'm not missing anything. And as it turns out, I guess I was right. You need 4 double-sized pixels. Matter of fact, this is for a specific mod. What I'm really trying to teach you is how to do this for anything. It's like just how the frames work. I'm not teaching you how to sprite or mod like fucking, what do you call that one mod? Insurgency Weapons. I'm not teaching you how to mod this. I'm really trying to teach you in general, like how to use frames, how frames would be used. So really, I'm just telling you this one thing. You're gonna need to. I'm gonna tell you this one little thing. There you go. Okay, that's good. So I'm really trying to tell you is how you can mod this thing in general. I can make these frames in general. So here's what it would look like. Then you just clone this frame a few times. Then you want to take this thing, right? You could just edit the frame as you will. Matter of fact, you know what? I showed you how to mod this thing. Let's just go over there. This is just an example anyways. I guess I could teach you how we mod them as well too. That seems like a good idea. I think I should go ahead and do that. Okay, so here it is. Here's the weapon. Go ahead and go into sequences, and you'll see all the sequences. But first, let me just rotate this for you just to have a better view of the weapon, not in first person. And what I do is I basically go ahead, look at this weapon, and go ahead and go into the reload. Matter of fact, reload empty is much better. I take a look at the weapon. As you can see, the first thing that is removed is the magazine. Then he cocks the hammer. So you can see that. It's the first thing we want to remove in the sprite. Yeah, just go to reload empty. Yeah, reload empty is much better. You can see almost the whole reload process. Like the reload is just when the mag isn't empty. It's kind of like this. He does not cock the hammer, cock the handle. So you just go to reload empty. And then once you're back in Piskel, take all that information, right? Take it all and just run with it. You go ahead, get started right here, and you basically, well, first you got to figure out what is really going on. So the first thing that this thing would look like, it's basically like this. You take this, right? You delete the mag. You don't need it. You draw a hammer. So I drew all that, and in every stage you would have take that thing. This is the last stage. You take that and you just do this. So that's how they would work. You see how this animation's playing out? This is irrelevant. But if you really want to create an animation, I guess what you should learn is first thing that starts is well, matter of fact, there is no starting point. I guess to make like anything like let's say you wanted to make a NPC sprite, you got to study the NPCs in Terraria. Got to know how the AIs of NPCs work, because how Terraria works is it scrolls past certain stages of a sprite sheet, takes that sprite sheet data and loads it into Terraria. And it reads that sprite sheet, and for every sprite that it finds in that sprite sheet, it records that, takes that data, and for every action an NPC performs, it just lines up. So, yeah. I guess I'll have another tutorial. Yeah, probably never. This is most likely pretty much all you need to know. About sprite sheets, I guess you'll just be left to figure that out yourself. In fact, matter of fact, I'm not really going to give you much of a tutorial. What I'm actually going to show you after this is a sprite sheet that I've done. It does the same exact thing, except these, well, I guess if you want to load them into, like, Piskel, you kind of have to order them like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to load them based on that order from bottom to top. So think of this like layout as like this layout as think of this layout as that's the top of the sprite sheet and that's the bottom. That's of course is if what you're going to be doing next. Damn, I forgot what columns meant. I guess we'll just find out ourselves. Together, won't we? Gonna want to name it held. I mean, for this example only, we'll just name it held. But you can name it whatever you want. It'll probably be named held, and probably depending on the code you use, if you're trying to make like a handheld sprite, you just replace it with that. But this is how you do it. And I guess so we're going to want to set it to a 1 column and 4 rows. It'll just continuously play back and forth. Oh yeah, and by the way, once I'm done, take this thing, right? Just make the bullet out of whatever the bullet would look like. We've pretty much given you the really this is just like an advanced rundown. We could have just told you how this stroke tool works or like mirror or like the pen tool, and we could just show you, okay, it's that easy. We showed you an advanced rundown. So today we showed you frames, we showed you layers, and we showed you how to load images. We've shown you how to take those images, place them, and take those and place them to replace files in Terraria, recompile them and replace files in Terraria. But of course, resource packs would just replace that. But if you wanted to go old school and just replace the texture files in Terraria directly, you would use xnbs. So we taught you that in the first step. Then we went ahead and taught you how layers work. You how to sprite. We told you use less colors. See what I'm doing with the the borders as well. Black is the best. Like, black is goated. And we also taught you how to use layers. We taught you how to use frames if you ever want to create animation sequences. And so, yeah, that's what we taught you. It's been a very long thing. And I guess it's the end of the recording.